You're listening to the Love Unplugged podcast, episode 130. You have an incredible business, product, or service, and you're ready to share it with the world. So what's the next step? What do you need to do to make sure that your launch efforts result in the success that you want? In today's episode, we are learning from an expert on the strategy behind a successful launch. So without further ado, let's jump on in. Hey there, I'm your host, Jessica Fragon, and I am passionate about doing the inner work needed to reach your goals. Let me be your guide as we navigate all the fears and insecurities that surface when it's time to step outside of your comfort zone. Along with my knowledgeable guests and industry experts, I'm here to teach you how to reawaken your life purpose and passion and create the steps to turn your intentions into action. Ultimately, my goal is to empower you to rise above those blocks holding you back and start living a life that you are worthy and deserving of. So come on, it's time to slow down, find a comfy spot with your favorite organic tea, and get inspired. Thank you for tuning in to the Love Unplugged podcast. Hello, loves. Today I am joined by the lovely Madison Tinder, the founder and CEO of Madison Tinder LLC, a 7-figure coaching business. She also has an e-commerce business called Soulful Scrunchies, and they are so freaking cute. So she is a marketing, business, and visibility mentor who helps online business owners scale and expand their business through organic techniques. And today we are focusing on the gram. So welcome, Madison. I'm just so honored to have you as my guest. I'm so excited to learn all about your story and your advice. But before we start, for those that don't know you yet, I would love for you to share a little bit more about you personally.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. And you introduced me so well. And for anyone listening, my name is Madison, and I am a coach, mentor, strategist. I kind of do it all. I'm very multi-passionate. That's one thing that you will know about me. I like to manage multiple projects. I'm passionate about a lot of things, and I have a second business as well. I'm currently located in Louisville, Kentucky. I grew up here in Kentucky. I know it's very random. People are like, Kentucky, why would you live there? And it's just like a beautiful horse country. And we love just living out of the city. But I did live in Dallas for 3 years. And that's where I met my significant other. And we moved to Kentucky together last year in April when the pandemic started. So that was a process in and of itself. But we're happy to be settled in and things starting to open up and being able to explore and do new things. I'm multi-passionate. I'm a foodie. And most of all, I love wine. My ultimate goal one day is to own a winery. So that is a little bit personally about me.
Yeah, I love that. That's one of my things as well. I'd love to have a winery, although I probably wouldn't have a business at the end because I'd probably be drinking my own supply the entire time.
I agree. I feel that.
Now, moving during a pandemic, that must have been a little bit difficult. You're moving into a brand new city and everything's kind of like locked down. So you can't really even explore and really get to know your new city. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, so I think we were just really in a tiny apartment in Dallas, and I felt that I needed an environment change. And we looked at houses for a while, like even before COVID started. And, we found one and we were just like, we have to take this house because it's like a dream house and there's really no other houses available. And this was when the housing market, not like how it is today, but it was a little bit easier to get a house. We did it and we were like, we have to move, we have to do this. And I feel like the move wasn't bad in and of itself, but it was when I don't think we expected COVID and any like that realm to be really bad. But it was like the next month in May, that's when everything literally closed. And we were like, oh my gosh, we're like stuck in this new house. We can't do renovations right now. So that was kind of stressful. It was more of the aftermath, but we definitely got through it. And so did a lot of other people. And we're just thankful that it went smoothly. But yeah, I probably don't recommend moving in a pandemic. So
Probably not. But now you're able to get out there and start exploring, which is nice.
yes, it's very nice to be able to do things finally this summer. But it's just like a breath of fresh air, and we're very happy to be able to explore.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's start at the beginning. What was your journey like leading up to creating your coaching business? What were
Yeah.
you doing before?
Yep. So I went to the University of Kentucky for my undergraduate degree. I studied journalism and communications. I wanted to be a sports reporter. That was my ultimate dream job. I worked in the sports department, the athletics department. I interned at like 4 news stations. I really put my all into wanting to be a reporter. And I woke up one day and I was like, I don't think I want to do that. It was my senior year of college, of course. And I was like, I don't think I'm destined for this. So I ended up applying to grad school. I still wanted to work in sports, but I didn't want to be on camera. So I ended up getting into SMU in Dallas. And they have a really successful sports management program. It was a year master's degree. So I moved there all by myself in 2017. Started taking summer classes, finished that degree up, couldn't find a job. I was like, oh, because I have my master's, it'll be really easy for me to find a job. But the market was very competitive in Dallas and I couldn't find a job. So I needed money to be able to live there. So I ended up taking a part time job as just a social media manager for a doctor for the Dallas Mavericks and the Dallas Stars. And I was able to gain experience in social media. I ended up getting a few other clients around that realm in the just local small businesses in Dallas. And that's kind of how my business started. I started as a social media manager. I wanted to actually do corporate consulting, but then I stumbled online and started just doing online consulting for small businesses in Dallas. And then I moved more broader into other businesses online. And this was in like summer of 2018, and I transitioned fully in 2019. Still kept some of my social media management clients, and then it's gone up from here. And I launched my scrunchie business last October of 2020. So.
Okay. So what was it like for you pivoting? Like, how did you feel about leaving behind this career that you thought you were working towards and diving into something completely brand new, and then that being what you are now wanting to do full time?
Yeah, I definitely know my parents thought I was crazy, but it was, you know, it, I feel like I was so go, go, go and wanting to grow my business that I don't think I had time to actually feel into the emotions. I mean, I worked so hard for so long to want to work in sports, and it just kind of poof and disappeared right in front of me when I pivoted. I don't think I gave myself time to almost feel into those emotions, but I think that I wasn't at the end of the day destined for that. And I think deep down in my gut, I knew it. I just didn't give myself permission to do what I wanted to do. And I knew for so long that I had an entrepreneur bone in me. And I knew that I was going to own some type of business one day, but I had no idea what it looked like. And I think I was given this opportunity and I just had to take it and run with it in a sense. I didn't have time to feel those emotions, but I do miss it. I miss the business side of sports. I miss broadcasting. And, it doesn't say that I could ever get back into it one day, but I just took what was right in front of me and I just like literally dove right in and I didn't even look back. I don't even think I was thinking anything at that time. I was just like, I'm going to do it and see how it goes. And I need it to work. So I'd do anything to make it work in a sense.
Love that. Now, what was your experience starting and growing your business? So, what was the whole process in actually like picking out your name, your business name that you wanted to go with? Why did you choose your actual name? Getting it registered, your branding, like what was that whole process in creating this brand?
Yeah, so I think being multi-passionate, I wanted to keep my name because I knew that at the end of the day, I'm a business owner, but I am a brand. I am a personal brand. And I know that the way that I operate and how I have so many ideas, I'm never just going to stick to one thing. And I'm so glad I use my name just as my business. My social media management, it wasn't that name at first. It was just like a DBA. But then I created that LLC in 2019. I did the LLC because I knew I wanted to be more protected, like my personal and business assets. But I picked the name because I was like, look, I have so many goals and visions in the future that's going to require me as a person, like my personal brand. And I truly believe that the one thing that sticks with you through every stage of your business is you, like your brand in general. That's who people are buying from you. So that's why I kept my name. And then I did my community for Madison Tinder LLC is called Soulful Social. That's what a lot of my programs are called. Then that's how Soulful Scrunchies became to be. So it kind of stuck with my brand, almost like an umbrella in a sense. It stuck with my brand, so it all makes sense. So I'm able to grow the brand awareness and as well as the product awareness.
Gotcha. Now, how did you go about defining exactly what types of offerings you were going to have available to your community?
Oh my gosh, that's like a that is that's a that there's a lot that definitely went into that. I would say the first thing I started off with was just one-on-one consulting because at that time that's what I wanted to do for corporate. So I figured I would do one-on-one consulting and I could take it online. So whether that was just a strategy session or just a one-off call or maybe a pack of two, that's what I started with at first. And then I gradually increased the amount of sessions I had. So I started off with just like social media consulting, social media and marketing, like growing your Instagram, gaining new followers, growing your influence, like things like that. And I stuck with that till like July 2019. And I just had one-on-one coaching. And I also came out with a little group program because I just found that as I continuously raised my price, a lot of people just couldn't be in my one-on-one. So I kind of pictured my group coaching program as a stepping stone to my one-on-one. That's kind of how I picture all my offers is like, what's the end goal? Each offer is a stepping stone to get you closer to that big, big, big goal that you want. And I like progressively new offers just kept coming out. New ideas arised and my offers started lengthening in time. The prices kind of raised. But I really do listen to my audience. I also listen to a lot of questions they ask me because I think that if someone has a question, multiple people have that same question. So the way that I've always created offers is based on literally questions my audience would ask me because I always do believe just because someone has one question doesn't mean like 10 other people have that question. So that's how I was able to develop a really sturdy product suite based on what my audience wants, but also like what I wanted to create as well. Cause I'm always just passionate that you need to create what you want to create. But it was a lot of interacting with my audience, growing that community and nurturing that community, having conversations with my audience, answering questions to really develop the best products I can.
I love that. Did you ever invest in a coach? Like, did you ever have any kind of support along the way when you were beginning to create this business?
Yes. So my first investment was like a 6-week one-on-one with a mentor to help me actually grow my social media management business too, like into an agency. But that was like really quick. 6 weeks at first I thought was really long, but it's actually pretty quick. And then I immediately invested in a 6-month one-on-one, which is crazy. Like I guess I'm the type to I always have a mentor. I've had the same mentor since April of 2019. And I feel like I just kind of fueled my fear. And I do think having mentors and getting help in certain areas that you need is crucial, especially in the beginning of your business. I think it looks different as you scale. It's going to be more like hiring a team, getting support. But in the growth stage, I think it's really essential to have someone to help and guide you to where you want to go, whatever that looks like for you. So yeah, I hired 2 mentors, and then the third one I've been with since April of 2019. And I've hired mentors in between with certain skills I want to improve on or just little things that I'm struggling with.
I love that. I'm a huge advocate for getting somebody on board to provide that support. And I totally agree that, especially in the beginning, get one on board with you because there's so much that you don't know and you don't know what you don't know either. And they're just going to help make the whole process just so much easier
Yeah.
and make it more fun, right? Because when you're doing it all alone, it can be really, really stressful and it can take the fun right out of it. And starting your own business, that's like exciting. Like, let's make it fun. Let's keep it like exciting for you.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And I think that a lot of people online have created businesses they don't enjoy. And you're not going to enjoy it if you're like running it around in circles and not knowing what you're doing and you're confused. That's when it's going to be not fun and it's not going to have success. And yes, getting the help can be scary. Any investment is, but I do think it's crucial for like where you want to go. And everyone's end goal and their vision looks so different and just getting the help to slowly get you there. But yeah, I agree. I think business, like some people are like, business should be boring. Like you shouldn't enjoy your business. It should just be a money making machine. And I'm like, no, if I'm waking up every day, I'm not having fun, then I'm not going to do it. Right. Something's going to change. So I firmly believe that as well.
Yeah, 100%. Now, what are your biggest learnings and your biggest wins as an entrepreneur?
Oh my gosh, so many learnings. I would say something big that I've learned in entrepreneurship is not continuously chasing the up level and milestone. And what I mean by this is I'm all for setting goals in your business and working towards those goals, but I feel like the online community and even business community always puts pressure on timelines with milestones and to chase them. I personally think I've definitely been caught up in that before. And something that's really helped me is just to become more present. And I actually had to do some internal work to figure out where is the pressure coming from and why do we feel the need to constantly chase an up level? I think it's different. Chasing an up level and setting goals is different. And I think when it comes to business, the more you put timelines on things, the less fun you're going to have. I think the more that you enjoy the present and actually enjoy growing and scaling a business, the more fun you'll have. If you're just constantly chasing something, then you're going to be chasing your entire life and it's going to bleed into your personal life as well. So that's something I've learned. And I've also learned with business is to it's a lot of mindset, like switching from just being a solopreneur to like an actual CEO of a company. I think you have to think different the more that you scale your business. And it's a lot more internal and less strategy. The more that you scale and the more money you make and the more people you help, it's going to be more internal and less strategy. So a lot of times people will focus on I'm a strategist. I love strategy, but I do help a certain entrepreneur. But when you're at a certain stage in your business, it's more about less strategy and more mindset and just lighting a fire to what's working and not coming up with so many new things. It's scaling what you currently have. So those are two big things I've learned. And when it comes to, you asked the success in business, right?
Yeah.
I would say something huge for me, and it's not money related, but actually starting a new business was a really big success. I'm very multi-passionate and I know that I can't stick to one thing for so long. I love managing multiple projects. And I think that starting a second business has been one of the best things I've ever done because it's challenging and it's a different area. It's e-commerce and um, gaining knowledge in influencer marketing and products and vendors, manufacturers. It's just, I feel like I'm diversifying my skill set as a true business leader. And I think that was a huge success for me, being multi-passionate. Just being able to start a second business and just growing my brand from there has been really great.
You diversified your business, right? You have multiple things going on in your business that you offer the scrunchie business, and then you have the agency side as well. What are your thoughts on diversifying your revenue stream? So there's people that are starting their businesses and they're going to be offering a product suite that is maybe just coaching. Do you think it's important to add other elements when you're ready so that you have income coming in from different types of sources?
Yeah, I'm really passionate about multiple revenue streams. I know that saying that a lot of millionaires have more than like five revenue streams. And, but some people, I think it depends on the person. Like, I have clients who have kids, they're married, they just want to have three offers, that's it, which is great. But I think that your product suite does provide you multiple revenue streams like courses, group programs, one on ones. Like right now, I have income coming in from like three or four different offers per month, right? I think that's steady growth, especially if you're just looking to be consistent and content. But like outside of coaching, I think that once you're ready, once your brand is there where you're able to expand, yes, I think it's important to look into other revenue streams like a second business or like speaking events or summits or making money from your podcast or stocks, like things like that, to look at like as you want to expand your business. But I think at first, like when you're developing the product suite, I think that steadily, I think having like at least three offers will be great. And you can kind of move up from there or keep your offers there if you want to. But also, I think having multiple offers creates accessibility to people who just can't do a super high ticket offer, but still want to be in your presence and learn from you. So I think that's important to note as well.
I love that. That's such great advice. Now, let's dive into the strategies with social media. And I'd love to learn what you'd suggest to scale your business and launch with success. So, what are the best ways to launch and sell on social media?
Yes. So I think the best ways to launch, number one, video. I think video is here to stay. Video is the number one piece of content. I feel like if you're not on video, like you have like there's literally no way around it. Like it's at the point where you have to get on video. So I think launching and selling on video, it's all about what you do during pre-launch. I always say pre-launch is the most important part of your launch because that's when you're showing up and you're providing problem-solving content. That's when people are getting to know you more through video. That's when you are building anticipation for your offer. All the heavy lifting should be in the pre-launch. And then the launch, I always say Instagram stories, your post, email list. Please, if you're listening, please work on your email list. That was the one thing that I didn't care about in the beginning of my business, but you don't own your social media, you own your email list. So I will do lots of efforts to grow the email list before pre-launch so I'm able to launch to more people. But yeah, I think video is number one. I always do like a pre-launch strategy. Like an example of this is I'm kind of entering pre-launch in June, and I know that I have my visibility tactics and my nurture tactics. So I'm going to be doing 3 reels a week, let alone with showing up on Instagram stories and educating, as well as emailing my list. So I have the visibility and I have the nurture. And then when I launch, my leads will be ready to buy, and then my warmest audience will be super ready to buy. So that's kind of what I look at it. The pre-launch does a lot of the heavy lifting, and the launch is just you want people to be ready to buy as soon as possible, not like waiting until last minute, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Now, what are your thoughts on live trainings, workshops, mini trainings? How do you get people to actually attend those? And how essential are they to actually supporting your launches?
Yes. So I think it's what you do when you don't sell that impacts how you sell. I always say that. So I think it's how you continuously cultivate your community, grow your audience. Being consistent is what's going to get people to attend more. I think it's consistency and intriguing, especially like I'll use live workshops as an example. If you're going to use a workshop into your launch, like if you're newer to business, a lot of people don't trust you yet. So they might not attend your workshop. But the more consistent content you put out on a daily basis and the more interesting content you put out, like let me preface that, like not what other people are saying online, like how can you make things more interesting? The more people will attend slowly and surely. Like the first time I hosted a workshop, I had 2 people attend live. Right. Last workshop, I had 50 people attend live. Like things will grow as you grow, but it's all about consistency with your community. And then when it comes to like mini trainings and stories and things like that, the more you do them, the more people will be interested and actually attend. Whether that's increasing your story views with consistency with your Instagram and capitalizing. Like, for example, I only have about like 200, 300 people who watch my Instagram stories for like the past year and a half. Like, it hasn't increased, but I know how to convert that audience because of the educational content I put out and the authoritative content I put out, but it's taken time, right? And I think people get such in a rush to get as many people in and many people to attend as possible. But just know, like, each time you run something, each mini training you do, each workshop you do, you're going to get more and more people because of your full on brand awareness. You just have to make sure you're working on growing your audience, talking to your audience, and putting out content that nurtures.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. Now, when I was looking at your product suite, one of them was the winning waitlist. Now, I'm absolutely curious about this. I want to know all about the winning waitlist. What is that about?
Yeah, so basically when it comes to launching, like I would say I'm an expert in launching. I've launched a lot of offers. I've also launched an e-commerce business. Like, I've just launched a lot. And the one thing that I think, the one launch strategy I think works for any industry, e-commerce. One of my clients is a college essay coach, like product-based, service-based and business, brick and mortar, Skims, whatever. Like, I was on the Skims wait list, is wait lists. And for me, sometimes I don't like to run live workshops or challenges because they just drain my energy. Since I already put a lot of my energy elsewhere. So wait lists. So it's like you would join a wait list for, like, I'm on the wait list a lot for like products that I love, like Skims from Kim Kardashian. I'm on her wait list for one of her bras, or I'm on a wait list for a new phone or something like that. It's the same thing online. People will get on your wait list for a few days to build anticipation, and you launch to the wait list first. They get first dibs. So I always look at it as pre-selling at the end of the day. And I've done at least 10 to 12 waitlist launch. So I have this course that teaches, it's really for people who are tired of free challenges and master classes all the time, and they want to use a waitlist to launch their offers. And it works for every single offer. It's just can be used for really anything. And I feel like free challenges and workshops are very limiting as entrepreneurs. And I wanted to create something that anyone could use in any industry when it comes to launching their offers or their products.
That's really interesting. I'm going to have to look into that more. Now, what is your advice for someone that is struggling with content creation, coming up with unique ideas that, really align with their brand and their business, but is different than what they're seeing out there?
Yeah, so I'm going to give 3 tips. Number one, step away from your phone. I say this because so many people who are on a content rut or struggling with content creation, they're probably consuming too much content. They're probably looking at other people's posts, stories, thinking they're not doing enough, thinking, oh, that was such a great post. Why did I not come up with that? They're definitely thinking of that. So my best content ideas come from when I'm not even home, when I'm outside walking, going on a run, on vacation, drinking wine, sleeping, in the shower. Like, I keep my phone on me at all times so I'm able to write things down when they come to me. So I always say get out, get in nature. Your best ideas come from when you're not in consumption mode. Number two, I would say really identify your core values. What are your true beliefs in business and what are your true vision? Like for me, I talk a lot about being multi-passionate, running an actual company, etc., because my true vision is to have multiple companies. And I truly believe that, like, launching and program development and product suite is important, but I also believe like scaling and sustainability and team hiring and, you know, growing is also important. So what are things that you truly believe in, your core values, and how you can take that into your content? And number three, I would say, is think about content that you may see online. Don't go and like consume hours of content, but if you see something, do you disagree with it? Do you agree with it? Do you want to, are there things you want to say about it? Like, what are opinions you have about your industry? And that's how you talk about things that people are scared to talk about or other people don't talk about. And that's kind of what leaders talk about, right? Like myth busting content, etc. I think does really well. But I think you have to, if you're struggling with content creation, it's probably because you're not feeling creative. So I think that's the first step, is being in an environment where you feel more creative in a sense.
That totally makes sense. And I can definitely attest to the fact that if you are consuming too much, it is going to stifle your creativity. So get off social media.
Yes, please.
All right. So when it comes to frequency and timing of your posts, this is such a huge topic. I feel like everyone has their own opinion on this. I'd love to know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I don't think it matters at all. So I think the timing of your post doesn't matter. I post now. I'm not going to post at like 2 a.m. because I'm sleeping, but I will post anytime before noon, just because that's what time I have to post. Or sometimes I will like randomly get this idea and like I need to write a post, and I'll post it as soon as possible. It might be like 8 p.m. at night. I'm all for like inspirational content. When it comes to frequency, it depends on what type of content you're doing. So if I'm doing reels, like I'm in like a reels phase right now, just because I'm trying to grow my visibility, I'm posting 3 times a week with reels. And I will do stories every single day, except for sometimes like the weekends and stuff. But I think it's the type of content. I would say any type of content like emails, Instagram, like 2 to 3 times a week is your best bet. But timing to me doesn't matter at all. I'll post, but I won't post like in the middle of the night.
Gotcha. Perfect. Now let's talk about your offerings, your own product suite. What do you have available to support your community, and for those listening, tuning in today, that they want to, come and search you out? What do you have available for them?
Yes. So on my website, which I just got redone, it's madisontinderllc.com. Under the Work With Me tab, I have a few pre-recorded workshops, and I'm going to put more on there as well. I also have the Winning Waitlist course on there, and the waitlist for my mastermind that starts in January 2022. And if you just check me out on Instagram at madison.tinder, I have a few more offers coming out in the next few months. I just haven't created sales pages for them or anything. But if you want to get started with something simple, the workshops, I have one on visibility and course creation, will be your best bet.
Amazing. Now, where do you hang out the most online? Where can people connect with you?
Yes, I hang out a lot, probably too much on Instagram at madison.tinder. And that's about it. I have a podcast too, the Soulful Social podcast. So I'm always hanging out there and coming out with podcasts too. So.
And what does your podcast cover?
Everything: entrepreneurship, marketing, scaling, social media. And I have guests who come on and talk about all different things. So
amazing. Well, thank you so much, Madison, for taking the time to join me and for sharing your entrepreneurial journey, but for also giving us such incredible advice on how we can scale our businesses and use social media to help us do that. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you today.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was awesome.
I'm Jessica, and thanks for tuning in today to Love Unplugged, the podcast. If there are any questions or topics you'd love answered on the show, head on over to www.projectloveco.com and share your request with me. If you haven't yet, go to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and review this podcast and share it with a loved one. Your feedback means the world to me, and the community we've created is what fuels our discussions here. After all, this is all for you. Join me next time for another unplugged conversation.